Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So we've been decoding Mamwich to Manwich. Um, the change, we've got our residue for evidence of the change. We got our extractions. We got our extractions to go through stock market, genetics, medical, chemical, uh, artificial intelligence, robotics, machinery, military, and laboratories, and now we're on to research groups. And boy, there's quite a bit of stuff for research groups, but we'll get into it here. So, first of all, in order to figure out what actually changed, we first must figure out what didn't change. And MA is still the same in both sides here, on both sides of this. So MA can go off like so. And then WICH and WICH is on both. So we can pull that off, and what you're left with is MN. So you bring MN down. Basically, an M changed to an N here, and that's all that happened. So that's what we're working with. And now we're on to research groups. And start right off with going forward with MN, and you end up with research at the University of Minnesota. Not a huge surprise. And of course, you got your George Orwell Convids 1984 information, which view at your own discretion there. It says it's a top 10 U.S. public research university with world-class academics, award-winning faculty, and state-of-the-art facilities. Our researchers and students uncover new knowledge and find solutions to some of the most complex challenges facing society today. So, University of Minnesota, there they are again, front and center. But you also have MN Youth Development Research Group in Minnesota. You got Comprehensive Research Group in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, you got George Orwell Convids 1984 Research Studies in Minnesota. Minnesota Department, probably Department of Health, I suppose. That's, yeah, you bet. I guess I'm psychic, like Mr. Nostradamus here. And we're not going to get into that nonsense. Notable research institutions. Minnesota Department of Economic Development. So here you got a few probably listed, but for time's sake, we're going to move on. Wilder Research in Minnesota. Leedy Research, market research firm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So you got a few things going on there. And I know we could go on, but we're going to move on to M. And M ends up being M Arch Research Groups, I should say. University of Buffalo School of Architecture and Planning. So you got that. But also research at the University of Texas A&M for engineering. And I'm sure more than that. But engineering comes up there. Engineering and architecture. Research centers, institutes, and groups. Comp M down here. Media Comp M. Applied mathematics groups at the Rice University. So there's another university they can hit. University of Michigan there. Research groups, lab centers. The Blank Research Group. Department of Chemistry. So there's some chemistry. How about research groups? Chemical engineering. Chemical engineering. That's interesting to say the least, given the state of affairs these days. So you got a few things there with M. We're going to move on to N, and N ends up being Nielsen Norman Research Group. World leaders in research-based user experience. So we provide research-based UX guidance by studying users around the world. Users around the world. Well, that's quite interesting. But you've also got new research groups, Princeton Center for, let's look at this. Princeton Center for Complex Materials. All right. NCIB or NCBI, NIH, excuse me. Oh, that's interesting. A research group size within the biological sciences. Yeah. Moving right along. Research groups, materials science, and nanoengineering. Why not? Rice.edu. That might. Materials science and nanoengineering. I really need to do a BitChute exclusive at some point on this. These decodes, man, what they're looking up obviously is not necessarily good. The Nanomaterials Laboratory is involved in the research of advanced nanomaterials with specific application areas in alternative energy, multifunctional nanocomposites, and electronic sensor technologies. Our research focuses on the materials, science, and engineering of several technologies that will impact our society in the future. Yeah, you think? You think. The Han Lab, or Han Lab, directed by Yimo Han, is at the frontier of studying materials atom by atom, utilizing the most advanced electron microscopy techniques. We are open to collaborations from all areas where small things may make a difference. Like medical. Anyway, enough of that. That gets you through going forwards. We could go on. Well, let's go on. Let's see if anything else comes up here just on this. You got nature research. So you got a few things going on with that, and we're going to move on. That gets you through going forwards. Now we're coming back. NM. How about University of New Mexico Medical Group? And apparently they do research, medical research. And I had to dig for this a little bit, guys. That didn't come immediately up. But there's your University of New Mexico. I wanted to get that in there because that's been in every one, and I knew it should be there. Research at Santa Fe Indian School. Rogers Research Group at Northwestern University. -1 NM. There it is. And that was on page 6 of this search, guys. We'll go back here. How about this, though? All research groups Center for Quantum Information and Control. Oh. Well, this was the University of New Mexico. Well, that's interesting. I didn't have to dig deep at all. I just wasn't paying attention to the top. Center for Quantum Information and Control. Now that is interesting. Maybe something has changed our mind. There's quantum, some quantum stuff at the University of New Mexico. Well, not much to say about that, but that could change. That maybe now the University of New Mexico is edging out. Research organizations, New Mexico Tech. How about chemistry research, New Mexico Tech? Interest research group in New Mexico. Marketing research firms and focus group facilities. Los Alamos National Lab in New Mexico. National Security Science right here. National Security Science. From you-know-what outbreaks to social media disinformation. Oh, yes. All the disinformation comes from social media. It doesn't come from the mainstream Operation Mockingbird, CIA infiltrated mainstream media at all. I'm going to get off of this because it's just frustrating. How about New Mexico Clinical Research and Osteoporosis Center? And as I recalled it, there was something, the Mind Research Network in New Mexico focuses primarily on two main areas. And it is missing groups, but still, it's research, right? Yeah. So they research the brain, the mind, neurodevelopment, autism, addiction. Like some people are addicted to the drama on the news that isn't disinformation at all. They do nothing but tell the truth, right? Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's some more of your Convids 1984 by George Orwell updates in New Mexico. Research team, New Mexico Consortium. So you got a few things here. Sandia National Laboratories, and that's obviously in New Mexico. Stories about the research. But either way, that gets you through going forwards and backwards in research groups. So there was some interesting stuff here. Interesting stuff indeed. But that's gonna be it for this one. Take what you will from it, and we're gonna move on to technology next, and then random hits, and then we'll check translations, but I wouldn't hold my breath for MN and M. I've been surprised before, I guess. But then we'll convert this all into numbers, and like right now, it looks like the University of New Mexico might be top on our list because of their quantum research. That's interesting because this is about finding someone who may have used a quantum computer designed by someone who uses the gematria code. So just like that, New Mexico would be in the lead for that. So it's going to be it for this. For now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. Sorry this one ran a little long, but there was a lot of stuff to go over. And thanks for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.